It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Maloney.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, and thanks for tuning in to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. It's a business variety show, something different each and every morning as I talk to many different professionals, business owners, entrepreneurs, and civic and organizational leaders about what they're doing in our communities to make a difference. If you've been listening to the show for a while, too, keep in mind I'm always looking for guests and always looking for material for the show. So if you have a business or an organization or just even a great story to share, please feel free to contact me over at tampabayradio.com. There is a contact form, and you can just send me a message through that. Also on the site, you'll notice that I do sell real estate. So if I can help you in any way buying or selling real estate, please feel free to contact me. And if you're looking to sell your home in the Tampa Bay region, we do have a sell your home link on the homepage of the website, and we can get you over a free home valuation. Also, please connect with me on all the different social media sites to keep up to date with all the show happenings. Facebook.com/That Business Show. Also, Twitter under Jamie_Maloney. Great show planned for you as always. On the second half of the show, we'll be talking with Suzanne Livesay, Managing Director for the Patel Conservatory at the Straw Center, about programs that they have available over there. But up first is Bruce Wozniak, who is the founder and president of Now Hear This, a management, promotions, and bookings company. He has worked with many singers, bands, small businesses, and even an Olympic athlete. Bruce, welcome to the program today.
Thank you, Jamie, and thanks for the terrific pronunciation of my last name.
Yeah, I was worried. I was practicing that all last night, as a matter of fact.
Well done.
So tell me more about Now Hear This. What is this?
Now Hear This started out for, 11 years ago, primarily focused on the music industry, management, promotion, and booking, and over the years really grew to the point where I knew that my professional career had always been based in communications, meaning public relations, media relations, marketing, the web, things of that nature. And with this foundation in communications over my professional career, primarily sports and entertainment, I came to realize that I could certainly apply that knowledge and those skills to other industries, and thus, as you mentioned, now have still the focus largely on music and entertainment, but clients, as you mentioned, that span different industries. So small businesses, the Olympic athlete, I have some author clients. So it's really grown. It's been a blessing for, like I said, 11 years now.
Is it safe to say it's kind of like public relations, a little bit of everything as far as helping others get their face and their business in the community?
Very much so. And I think the reason that I've had success with small businesses is because they do have limitations in terms of their own internal resources. Sometimes you'll have people that are trying to wear far too many hats, and it's easier to outsource it rather than bring on an employee and have to pay them salary and benefits and everything that goes along with it. So it's really kind of been a good outlet for small businesses.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize the importance of public relations in a business. They get focused on running the business, but they don't bring into fact the public relations aspect of it. I myself actually have two public relations companies, one for my real estate practice, one for my radio show too. But I mean, talk to me about the importance of showing activity and momentum within a business and how you can better businesses in this area.
Sadly, just to kind of continue what you were saying there, is that when you're an author, when you're a musician, these constituents that you're pitching yourself to are so overwhelmed with musicians who are trying to get on the radio, who are trying to get their music played, who are trying to get booked on a show, authors who want their manuscript to be read and the like. And sadly, I do too much thinking with my heart in my business, and I don't think it should be that way. But sadly, they will respond better to an agency. So when they get an email from Bruce Wozniak, who's writing on behalf of one of his clients, insert name here, and then they drop down to the bottom and they see my electronic signature, Now Hear This, they say, oh, well, what is this company? And so they're more receptive. And if you think of it this way, if there's, let's say, 10 musicians that are contacting one outlet, and there's one Now Hear This that's contacting them, they'd rather read that one email from a trusted source, Bruce Wozniak, who they know has screened his clients, has good talent, than have to sift through 10 emails. And if you multiply that times 10, instead of getting 100 emails in a day, they'd rather get 10 emails from agencies like Now Hear This, where they know that, okay, we can trust it. And so to answer your question of building the brand and building your company up, you can't put the cart before the horse and get so far out that you're trying to add all these things onto your business until you've really built that strong foundation and established that reputation where these people who are hearing from you know that, okay, Bruce is a good guy. He's always got good clients. I know that I will get what I'm looking for when I deal with now hear this. Like I said, tying it back into my point that if you're just starting out and you don't know what you're doing and you're just contacting people and saying, hire me because I'm good, let me play at your place because I've got a good band, they don't know that. How do they know that? So they need someone like me to build their brand and tell their story for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get stuck in publishing, right?
Yeah.
You have to self-publish. Otherwise, you would use someone like you to kind of get the message out there.
Yeah, and mind you, self-publishing isn't a bad way to go. And of course, everyone has different limitations, time, their resources, obviously, finances. So self-publishing isn't bad. And that's one good thing about the music industry is that people don't have to just rely on getting signed to a major record label anymore. They can get their music out so easily through, gosh, the list is endless, as you know, Jamie, iTunes, and the list goes on. Obviously, here we are on an iHeart radio station. So that is good. But yes, at the same time, if you're really looking to kind of take your career to that proverbial next level, you really want to enlist the services of someone that is going to do it on your behalf.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I have two PR companies that work for me. And one of the ways that I grow my radio show is becoming guests on other programs. And so my one PR company just sends out media pitches constantly to a variety of different media outlets. And it may be something about my radio show. It may be something about my real estate business. But I get requests all the time for appearances on shows because shows are always looking for guests. And if you're, especially my show too, and if you're an expert.
Trade content.
Yeah, trade content. Yeah. And all you got to do is call in and then give the material. And it's an excellent way to build your brand. Take the clip of the show, put it up on your website, and show your consumers that, hey, I'm an expert in this field, and an excellent way to build your brand.
Yeah, Jamie, when I go and I talk to college classes, I tell kids to come away from college, with something that's going to separate you from the student sitting next to you. So whether it's learn a second language or learn something like video editing, because if an employer is going to hold two resumes side by side, they're going to want to see something that says, all right, well, this one knows a second language. And my point being that exactly that. If someone's going to look on your website, let's continue with the example of a performer, they're going to look and see, wow, this person's been interviewed on an iHeart radio station. They've got an article in this newspaper. They were reviewed by this music outlet. It's going to stand apart from someone else that they're looking at and considering and saying, well, I don't really know if I should take a chance on this artist because they don't really have that much support, that much backing behind them, whereas this one looks like they must be doing something right because they've gotten a lot of coverage. And again, that's part of what I do is number one, educate people and let them understand that. But number two is help get them that type of exposure so they're not sitting stagnant with nothing that really kind of helps them stand apart from the competition.
And you just touched on what I consider the number one key to success. You hear that's a cliche, the key to success, key to success. The one key to success is differentiation. It's what you can do or who you know or what talent that you have that I don't have that gives you power over me in the presence of, a consumer or an employer or whatever the case may be. What you can do and what you know is comes down to differentiation, and that's what's going to set you apart in your business and in life. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
A great point. You like minds think alike here. And we're very similar in the sense that you host a podcast, too. Your niche market is musicians. How did you get in this niche market of talking with musicians?
The podcast was interesting in the sense that I only launched it because I thought it was just supposed to be a marketing tool for my business. And be careful what you wish for because the podcasting industry is so huge. I really am surprised that people still don't understand what podcasting is, that people still think it's a hobby or kind of something that people do. We don't have basements in Florida, but if we did, it's something that people do in their basements. And it's such a huge industry. And when I launched it, again, I thought it was just going to be a marketing tool. Now it's grown into something where I have listeners in more than 90 countries. Yesterday, I launched episode 95 of my show, which means that it's coming up on 2 years that I've been delivering on time every week a show of approximately 45 to 60 minutes that's on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, nhte.net is the web home for it. It stands for Now Hear This Entertainment. And I do it in an educational way because, again, I want people to learn lessons from these guests of how did this person get their music placed in film and television? And how did this person get their entire album paid for by doing a crowdfunding campaign? And how did this person get themselves booked at the House of Blues just being on vacation in that particular city? And these are all the things that I know that the up-and-comers are trying to find out, because they do get a little tired and frustrated of just playing the same venues over and over in their own local city and saying, I really want kind of that next level of success. And these guests are having it, and that's what I'm kind of pulling out of them each week is, how did you do that?
Yeah, an excellent way of how you differentiate yourself in your business through the use of podcasting. And for people that aren't familiar with podcasting, I mean, you can set up a basic podcast for a couple $100 in your home. You can buy a kit, and then you can feed the material up to iTunes, and you're a podcaster, and an excellent way to differentiate yourself.
And the other benefit to it, well, I don't want to say the other like there's only two, but one benefit that I have found is that these guests kind of become contacts for me now. Mm-hmm. So if I am going to Nashville, I can contact someone that I had on the show and say, hey, I'm coming to town. I'd like to have lunch with you now, so that we can just kind of talk, a little more casually and take our time and just sit and, follow up on what we talked about, but get to know each other more. Or they find me to be a contact and say, well, I'm coming to Tampa. Can you book me somewhere? Because I'd like to play a show while I'm down there. So you really do a lot of relationship building by hosting these podcasts. And I know we're up against a break, but there's so much more that has come from my podcast that, like I said, when I launched it early 2014, I had no idea that this is what it was going to grow into.
Yeah, well, let's share a little bit more of that success coming back from the break. Currently talking with Bruce Wozniak, founder and president of Now Hear This. You can learn more about him over at nowhearthis.biz. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project. In an age when the good and the better vie for attention, it is the best that stands out. The best of Tampa Bay from Proudly Florida is the love story for the city of Tampa, celebrating success, sharing achievements, a tribute to enterprise and community spirit. Let Proudly Florida showcase your business to your city, your nation, and the world. For more information, email info@proudlyflorida.com and be sure to visit proudlyflorida.com.
Have you ever tried to buy a home for your family only to find out that you don't qualify for a mortgage loan? You thought that after 20 years as a customer of your bank, they would help you when you needed it the most, right? Unfortunately, the banks of today are not the banks of our parents and grandparents, and our relationships with them just don't matter anymore. My name is Frank Cotto, and I'm the president of the Lincoln Lending Group. We all may need a bank, but we also need a Frank, and that's what I'm here to do for you today. Lincoln Lending Group will waive all of your lending fees, which include your mortgage, application fee, your underwriting fee, processing fees, and any bank points. Just call 813-MORTGAGE. You drop the E, and we'll drop the fee.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Morning westbound I-4 slow from 301 to around 50th Street. Also southbound 275 from Fowler to Sly, and southbound Veterans only slow from around Ehrlich to Waters. Courtney Campbell Causeway a bit slow from the Big Bridge to Rocky Point, and Howard Franklin Bridge not looking too bad at this check. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson Uderick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's 3 p.m. School's out for America's kids. And when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org.
Today, as a cold front moves through, a 40% rain chance mostly in southern Tampa Bay, high 75. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 62, and tomorrow, high 77.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Learn more about the program over at TampaBayRadio.com. Currently talking with Bruce Wozniak, founder and president of Now Hear This. Learn more about him and his company, NowHearThis.biz. Now, Bruce, we were talking in that last segment about podcasting and how it helped grow your business. And so elaborate a little bit more on this.
Yeah, so the podcast, I took it from, okay, here's this thing that I think is going to be a marketing tool. Wow, look at, I'm accumulating a lot of episodes. I'm making some contacts along the way. To then, I took it to the next level, which is I've released 2 ebooks. And it's called Bruce's Bonus Book is the first one, a collection of tips for up-and-coming entertainers. And then Bruce's Bonus Book Volume 2 is more practical tips for aspiring entertainers, and that one also includes some quotes from guests along the way. Because every week on my show, I do a little segment in the middle called Bruce's Bonus, where I give out a helpful tip. This is, really sad that I have it rehearsed because it's in my script every week, but it's a helpful tip for the listeners who are singers, songwriters, entertainers, who are out there trying hard to make a go of it. And so because of my background doing all this work in entertainment for so many years, I will give out a free tip in the middle of the show every week. So I got to a point where I thought, well, wait a minute. Now that I've done this many shows, if someone's just hearing my show for the first time, like I said yesterday, I released episode 95, somebody says, this guy's really good and I'm an up-and-comer and I like that free tip that he gives out in the middle. They're not about to go back and listen to all 94 shows.
No, you're right.
Just to find where did he do the bonus so I could hear what he said.
I don't know. I might.
Some people might, yeah.
You might.
Today. We're pushing a YouTube page, so I definitely use the tips.
I'm going to have to get him a Now Hear This Entertainment shirt.
And real quick while we're talking, so I don't forget, what is the name of your podcast? Is it just Now Hear This?
The podcast, I tacked the word entertainment onto the end, so it's Now Hear This Entertainment.
Okay.
And so again, nhte.net is the website for that, and it stands for Now Hear This Entertainment. But so I launched these ebooks to really, and somebody would say, well, aren't you taking away potential listeners from your show? No, because those people are now new listeners and they're going to listen going forward, but they're going to go onto brucesbonusbook.com and they're going to buy one or both of the ebooks so that they get them all there electronically in digital format. I kind of patterned it after Casey Kasem's American Top 40. The first book was the first 40 episodes. The second book is the second 40 episodes. So you're getting essentially 80 tips in these 2 ebooks. And so, the listeners who are business owners, I want them to understand the power of podcasting, that here's something that, it's going to be a marketing tool. Now I've made contacts from it. Now I've released 2 ebooks. And then the next step that you take from that is now you become more of an in-demand speaker. So now people say, well, I'd like to have this Bruce Wozniak guy come and be a speaker at our next event because he's an authority in the business. He hosts a podcast. He's written 2 books. And P.S., I didn't write the books. They just repurposed the content from my show, which is a very big thing nowadays with those of us that
I've had a similar idea about my show, doing a kind of a collection of interviews, different things I learned from my different guests. That's down the road, a book that I'd like to read, but just collection of information and what I learned from my different guests. So yeah, good to see that you did the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now you've worked with a number of different people. Share with us some of the success stories of people that you've worked with.
Well, I don't know if this is a success story. I guess it is. I just think it's kind of fun to tell. A girl who is originally from here, client of mine, I've been her manager for, I think it's 8 years now. She was performing. She's married to a guy who's from over on the other coast in Melbourne. And she said, look, we're going in Melbourne for a weekend just to see his parents. Can you get me some place to play there? And I thought, well, it's kind of short notice. And, Melbourne, I mean, where is there to perform in Melbourne? No disrespect to the people listening from Melbourne. And I just found this kind of, upscale kind of coffee house place where I said, look, this is the best I could do on short notice, but they want you, they'll pay you, blah, 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 blah. she's performing. And this is the benefit of having someone like me working for you, because when you're up on stage performing, you can't talk to anybody. So you don't know who's in the crowd. Well, so she's got Bruce out in the crowd working on her behalf, and this guy comes up to me and recognizes that he must be with her. Yes, I'm her manager. How can I help you? The guy just says, I just want to know what you're doing with her because she's tremendously talented. And I said, well, great, thanks, and really got in this pretty serious conversation. And I said, well, who are you? And he said, I'm a realtor. And I'm scratching my head going, well, where is he going with this? And he just was genuinely interested and wanted to help. And he said, well, I've been here for about, I don't remember, it was either 6 or 8 years. He said, but I've still got some connections back out in L.A. where I lived for many years, and I'd like to help you out. He said, so let me see if I can make some introductions back out there for you. And I said, well, I'm going to L.A. in a few months, so great timing. Fast forward to, puts me in touch with this guy who has been nominated for 1 Grammy Award and for 2 Golden Globe Awards. He's this legendary songwriter that's worked with Billy Joel, with Madonna, with you name it. Ended up having a 90-minute meeting with him in a coffee shop in Hollywood that went so well that he said, how long are you in town? I said, for the week. And he said, let's get back together. I want to work with your girl, because I sent him her music in advance. And a couple days later, I'm sitting in his living room in this house in the Hollywood Hills, and I'm going, all this on a chance meeting from a coffee shop in Melbourne, Florida.
Yeah.
So, it's a real tired cliche in my business, but it's so true that you never know who might be in the audience. That's why you have to bring your A game to every performance, but that's why it's helpful to have someone like me. I don't know if we have time. I can tell another quick story.
Sure,
we were in Nashville one time, and I had her booked to perform 4 nights in a row. On the 4th and final night, this is the first time I had encountered this, a double booking at the venue. And I said, well, we're going to need to sort this out because I want my girl to play. And she said, no, Bruce, I don't want to play. She said, I'm really tired. I've played the last 3 nights. She said, I just want to go back and relax and just, write some music and kind of, wind things down. And I said, no, we didn't come to Nashville for you to pass up an opportunity to perform. And the short version of that is I ended up getting them to work it out where she was able to perform later than scheduled, but she was able to perform. And lo and behold, at the end of it, someone came up to her and was talking to her, and it was someone that had a music publishing company there in Nashville and was really interested in her. And on the ride back, she said, do you know why I gave in? Do you know why I relented? Do you know why I ended up taking the stage after all, even though I told you I didn't want to and I wanted to go back and songwrite? And I said, why? And she said, because you always tell me you never know who might be in the crowd. She said, and after all, we're in Nashville. I thought, somebody's going to be here. I know it.
Wow.
Someone was.
Wow. Great story. And you've got some great connections there in Nashville. So your niche market is musicians, correct? But you work with business owners and other people as well in public relations, then, correct?
Yeah, there's ironically, if you hit nowhearthis.biz, the top 2 stories on the website are the 2 newest clients, and neither one of them are in the music business. One is a small business, and the other one is a entrepreneur who's sort of a business coach / speaker / trainer / consultant. So much diversity coming out of Now Hear This, all from this original foundation 11 years ago of serving performers and entertainers.
Well, great stories, Bruce. Thank you so much for being in studio and running an amazing business. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And that was Bruce Wozniak, founder and president of Now Hear This. Learn more about him over at nowhearthis.biz. Stay tuned. Coming back from the break, we'll talk with Suzanne Livesay with the Patel Conservatory at the Strauss Center on That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Grow your business through customized and effective advertising. Call 844-BUY-RADIO or go to iHeartMedia.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Good morning. As we take a look at the roads around Tampa Bay, pretty good shape at this check. No major problems to tell you about. Did have a minor crash at Memorial Highway and Independence Parkway where a car ran off the road. Also, just some minor delays along the southbound Veterans Expressway. Only slow now from Gun Highway to around Waters. Southbound 275 slow between Fletcher and Bush. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson, Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line, 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Boys and Girls Club of America.
It's 3 p.m. School's out for America's kids. And when school's out, clubs are in. It's time to support the Boys and Girls Clubs. Visit greatfutures.org.
1250 winds, weather center forecast. Finally, much cooler temperatures, mid-70s for the high today. We'll still see a bit more cloud cover than sunshine at times. Rain chance 30% for a few scattered showers. Lows in the upper 50s, so much cooler in the overnight. And then we'll see a day similar to tomorrow, less rain chance down to about 20%, mid-70s. Impact Radio 1250 winds.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back, everybody, to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, the show has expanded to include a sixth show each week. That show airs Sunday mornings at 5 a.m. on 970 WFLA. We call that one That Business Show, the Real Estate Edition, where I and my co-host Frank Cotto of the Lincoln Lending Group talk all about real estate, taxes, mortgages, insurance, you name it. We never even know what we're going to talk about until we show up each afternoon on Tuesdays when we record that one. Obviously, I don't do that one live. That one is pre-recorded, but this show is live each and every morning. So be sure to tune in to this show each weekday morning, and then you can catch the Sunday show on demand over at TampaBayRadio.com, as well as iTunes, also as a podcast. Time to bring in my next guest for the program. Suzanne Livesay is the Managing Director for the Patel Conservatory at the Straz Center and a product of the Performing Arts Program in Pinellas County. Suzanne, welcome to the program today.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
So tell me about the Patel Conservatory and the Straz Center. What is the relationship here?
Yeah, we actually are directly on the campus of the Straz Center, and a lot of people don't realize that, which makes us very sad. But we are directly right there at the Tico Theater. That's kind of our main performance space. And when you kind of hit it from Fortune Street, you see our big treble clef doors that lets you into the Patel Conservatory. And we are a facet, the education facet of the Straz Center. It's a 3-story building, believe it or not. People don't even realize it. And we have dance, theater, and music that are offered for kids from preschool all the way up to adults, and so everything in between.
This is the educational component of the Straz Center.
Yes,
then?
kind of one of the main.
Okay. So different programs available for people of all ages.
Yes.
Then what's the history? How did this come together?
Well, last year we celebrated our 10-year anniversary, and kind of what happened was they were rehearsing in any space they could find, as far as people came to the Performing Arts Center and wanted to be able to take classes, whether it was a voice lesson or acting classes, musical theater, dance. And they were doing these in any found space they could find at the Straz Center, named the Tampa Bay Performing Arts Center back then. And what they found was we really had a need for a community school for the arts. And so that was kind of a dream of Judy Lisi's and kind of happened under her watch. And she was looking for some donors to be able to make that happen. And I think the Patels were kind of the main donors for that, or one of the biggest donors. So that's why it's named the Patel Conservatory now.
Okay. What are the different programs that go on at the Patel Conservatory?
Yes, we have everything from dance, theater, and music. Our dance program is internationally known. They are the ones, NGB, which is Next Generation Ballet. They're the ones that actually present the Nutcracker every year. And we also do a storybook ballet in the spring. So this year it'll be Giselle. And so the Nutcracker will be the 19th and 20th of this month. And that's kind of one of our big Morsani Hall performances. And people don't realize that it's actually our Next Generation Ballet performers and students from our school that put that on, along with, this year we actually have 2 cast members from the New York City Ballet that'll be presenting as well. So that's really exciting.
Now, what about just local actors and actresses that would like to get involved maybe in theater? Can they come to one of the classes at the Patel Conservatory and get into a play? Just something, obviously, if they're not, professionals?
Yes, absolutely. And that's most of our students come and take part. And we usually do that for 2nd through 12th grade as our performances. For example, 101 Dalmatians will be coming up in February as a performance. We just had our callbacks yesterday for that, and that's for 2nd through 4th graders. So young students up through high school can be involved in our musical performances as far as musical theater. But we also have acting classes on camera with Eugenie Bondurant, which people know from the Hunger Games that just was released. She's our on-camera teacher, and that a lot of adults take that class. We also have adult acting that's presented, so students can learn, acting 1 or improv with Toby Martini. We have him in.
So it's not just stage acting; it's also film and television and stuff like that.
Absolutely, yes. And we have people who are in the industry that are teaching that, which is really exciting that we have that.
Wow. And so you have the
us.
Nutcracker that's coming up here. You said that was December 19th?
19th and 20th.
Okay, and how can they get tickets available for this?
They can go to strazcenter.org, and it's right there, first thing on our website.
All right. And so what are some of the other events, on the outlook for the Straz Center and the Patel Conservatory?
Yeah, upcoming, just kind of going chronologically, what's next is we have a holiday concert because we also have music classes at the Patel. So we have instrumental and vocal groups, and they'll be presenting kind of a special concert next Wednesday, which is on the 9th. Then also at the Straz over Christmas, I think it's the perfect show to go see is Sound of Music will be presented. And that's part of our Broadway series there at the Straz.
Very cool.
So that's kind of gets us through the end of the year.
Yeah, very nice. And you have an opera festival that goes on at the Straz Center too?
We do. Our spring is taken over by opera. We actually have 3 operas that will be performed this year. Wow. And so that you can purchase those tickets as a series, or you can do those individually.
I've not yet been to an opera. I don't know if I could get through an opera.
I didn't even know they still did them. Yeah. I didn't know it was a thing.
Well, they're doing the thing that's great about the Straz is they are one of the only places that are still doing grand opera, and they blow the doors off the joint. I mean, it's incredible what they do because opera is kind of known for their sets and lavish is a great word for opera, and Opera Tampa does a beautiful job there at the Straz with those.
I have to check one out, but I've never been to an opera. I see it on TV, but never live.
Do they do it without a sound system? Do they just project their voice, or do they actually have a PA and mics and stuff like that?
Yes, that's what my degree was in. And so one of the claims of opera that is so wonderful is that you have the technique that you can sing over a full orchestra and be heard. And in Morsani, absolutely. And in Morsani, unamplified, it's a great space to get to perform opera in. So it's exciting.
Wow. So I didn't realize that you had a whole an orchestra behind you, and so you got to be able to perform over top of that orchestra. So, man, a lot goes into developing a voice.
That's some set of lungs.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, location of the Straz Center. Let's not assume people know where this is. Where is the Straz Center located?
The Straz is that huge building downtown with those huge banners on it. And it's interesting because people see it right off of 275 and don't realize that's what it is. So we're at 1010 northwest corner of Mechanics Place, and it's right there on the Riverwalk. It's actually beautiful from the Riverwalk side.
Yeah.
That side of it is beautiful, across from Tampa Prep, and University of Tampa's not far, right down the river.
And Curtis Hickson Park is a good point of reference as well.
Yeah, we're real close to Curtis Hickson, and it's that kind of rectangular building that you see with the stars on it as you're passing through downtown.
Yeah. Now, your background is in acting too, correct?
It is.
Yes.
I started out as a performer.
So tell me about your first performance, and how did you have a college degree in acting too?
I do, in musical theater.
In musical theater. So let's go back to your first role as an actress then. What was your first role?
That's great because it was here in the Tampa Bay area. A friend asked in 7th grade if I wanted to go do children's theater with her. And it was a children's theater company over in St. Pete that was called Spotlight, I think, at the time. And it was actually led by a USF grad student. And he wrote a play called Toys and had us perform in it. And I got to play Jefferson, the toy soldier.
Wow.
So that's kind of my first role, was a toy soldier.
So how many different productions have you been involved with since then?
Golly, I don't know if I can count it. I had,
Have you done Cats?
No, I'm not a dancer. I'm an actor. I'm a singer-actor. I move like a singer-actor.
So what motivates you to act?
Oh, man, I guess so many people in the room here, even today, there's things that you do that kind of create this adrenaline for you that are addictive. And I think that's what ends up happening with theater is that the students at the Patel, they get a taste of it. And even the parents will say to me, I think my kid's addicted. There's something about getting to perform and the response from the audience. And I'm a live performer. You were speaking earlier about like film and I did a couple TV things when I was a kid, and I was like, I don't like this at all. Right. I love live performance on stage. And so there's something very addictive to being able to be on stage and getting that response from the audience.
Instant gratification.
Yeah.
There are worse things to be addicted to, though, for sure. I have a client who's a certified addictions professional, so trust me. Unfortunately, I know, but... Yeah, tell the parents if that's your biggest problem. That's all right.
It's nothing. There's something about getting to perform as an actor and taking on roles and being someone different than yourself. I guess I think that's why I've heard so many film actors and television actors say that they didn't really like who they were, and they would try out being a character, and they kind of like that better. And I think you see that a lot, especially in Hollywood and in television. If you get deep with some of these actors and see what they're really like, they sometimes like their characters better than they do themselves.
Yeah.
I've kind of worked out of that, but
I have no acting skills whatsoever. I love speaking in front of people. I used to do stand-up comedy. Yeah. I love speaking behind the microphone here, but acting, I feel weird when I'm playing somebody other than myself. And so how do you develop as an actor or an actress to get outside of your own persona?
I think for me one of my favorite things is doing a different voice. I guess if you were to say what my dream job would be, I would love to be doing voiceovers. And my kids, I joke with them and do a voice, and they're like, why do you do that? But as far as I like getting out of myself, I like being able to be someone completely different. And I think just trying it on for size is really kind of the best way to do it. And I do have actor friends that have said to me, I didn't like that. So they stick with more improvisational theater. Or, oftentimes you can in film be able to play a role that's very close to who you are, and it's much more natural in your performance anyway. So that may end up being the choice for you. But I do have a local friend that he has said he prefers improv because he doesn't want to have to memorize the lines, and he doesn't want to have to take on, that in-depth character analysis that it requires.
I will say improv actors and comedians are the most skilled of all the actors. To be able to do stuff on the spot is incredible. Do you offer at the Straz Center any type of courses on improv?
We do. We actually start with fifth graders. So we have a middle school improv class, which, by the way, they're fantastic because they're completely uninhibited, which is fabulous when it comes to improv. Then we also have a high school improv class that we have. But Toby Martini, he's kind of we call him our improv guru, and he teaches our our adult classes, and he's busy trying to get them back to middle school.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's trying to get them back to that uninhibited thing they were in fifth grade, and he takes business leaders and does this with them because it ends up helping them in every facet as they speak. I have to do a show like this, or every facet of public speaking, or sales. So much of sales is improvisational.
Yeah. I mean, I did comedy many years ago, over probably 10 years or so ago. But I mean, I had to write out my material and practice it, but I could never do improvisational comedy. And to watch the performances of people doing that just blows my mind there. How they can come up with stuff on the spot, and I wish I had that talent. That's a great talent to have right there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's impressive.
Got to take a quick break, but currently talking with us, Suzanne Lives, a managing director at the Patel Conservatory at the Straz Center. Learn more about them at patelconservatory.org. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305. 0305. Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Maloney of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
If you've been following That Business Show on Facebook and Twitter, you may have noticed the quality of some of our images. That's because one of our sponsors is pro photographer Rick Taseda, a member of the Professional Photographers of America. You can view his extensive work by going to his website at ricktaseda.com or call him for an appointment to chat about your photography needs at 813-641-4757. That's 813-641-4757. Rick Taseda Visuals. Call him for your next event or project.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Good morning. As we take a look at the roads around Tampa Bay, no major accidents to report at this check. Minor accident, though, on 50th Street, right around 36th Avenue South. Also slow traffic on southbound 275 between Fletcher and Bush Boulevard. And slow traffic still on the Veterans Expressway between Gunn Highway and Waters. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson, Uterick, Hillsborough Traffic. Tip line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by the Foundation for a Better Life.
While many rose up with violence, he sat down for peace. Mahatma Gandhi reached out with the strength he cultivated within his soul. So, pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at values.com.
Today, as a cold front moves through, a 40% rain chance mostly in southern Tampa Bay, high 75. Tonight, partly cloudy, low 62, and tomorrow, high 77.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Maloney.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Each weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Currently talking to Suzanne Livesay, Managing Director of the Patel Conservatory at the Straz Center. Learn more about them at patelconservatory.org. Suzanne, a great way for people to get involved with the conservatory and the Straz is some upcoming classes that you have available in the spring. Tell us more about this.
Yeah, we have enrollment that you can join in any time for most of our classes, but a great time to come in is at the beginning of the semester. Kind of like a school year setup. So right after the new year, around the 13th of January, we'll kick back in with all of our classes. So this is a great time to start enrolling, to give it as a Christmas gift. I would love to get a ballet class for Christmas or a dance card at the Patel or an acting class for the spring. So this is a really good time to be thinking about
What's the frequency of classes and how long? Is it like a course in college, goes through a semester? And how many different classes like in dancing or ballet do you get?
Yeah. We, for dance, we do it for open dance. It's a dance card. And so you can get 10 classes or 20 classes. It's a little cheaper for the 20 class card. And then you can go to a ballet class up to 3 times a week. We have 3 different classes you could take. So it depends on how often they want to be dancing, you know, that sort of thing. And we have a lot of moms who come and do kind of fitness. They do a jazz class on a Tuesday night, and that's their one of their workouts that they do is to go take one of our Jazz 2 classes with Susan, which is great. But as far as like if I took an acting 1 class there, it would meet weekly. And then oftentimes you have a little bit of homework that you need to memorize for the next week or prepare that sort of thing. So musical theater classes meet weekly for about 2 hours at a time, and they do dance theater and music all in one 2-hour segment, and they rotate to 3 different teachers. It's really a great setup as far as exposing any age student to the arts.
And I imagine you've put thousands of people through these programs through the years. Share with the audience some stories of some of the students that have come through the Strass Center.
Yeah, with our dance program being as lush as it is, we have students that have gone on to perform all over the country and world. And so we have one graduate that is with Boston Ballet now professionally, and we have numerous graduates that are in different programs throughout the country and the world that are notable, you know.
I know when I was bringing you back to the studio this morning, we passed somebody's picture that happened to be on the wall that you said you taught.
Yeah, that was when I was teaching out in Colorado.
It still counts.
It does. I guess I can put that on there. Yeah, I taught one of the singers from the Fray. He was in my private school that I worked in out in Colorado in the Denver area.
So your role of managing director, do you get involved in the classes and the teaching right now, or do you stay behind the scenes doing administration stuff right now?
Well, what's great is I started out as a teacher after I got through kind of some performing and kind of went, wow, this is exhausting. And I was getting bored almost as a performer, to be honest. A 10-week run of Sound of Music up in Chicago. I got done with that and I went, wow, I don't know if I really enjoy doing shows for 10, 12, a year.
And my bank account doesn't reflect that I've been doing that many
the life
shows.
of an actor or an actress, yes.
Yeah, and looking for your next job while you were doing it. That was tricky for me. And so when I had the opportunity to start teaching, it was actually when I was backstage at Disney, I met someone that was my accompanist in college. And, it's all connections, as you know. And he said, I'm coming full-time on at Disney as a pianist, and I'm going to stop teaching. So I said, teaching? Where are you teaching? And he said, a private school in Orlando and just part-time. I said, well, who's taking your job? And he said, you want it? And I said, yeah, I actually do. And so that gave me a taste of directing for the first time. So that's how I made the transition from a performer to a director. And boy, I'll tell you, it only took a couple weeks of trying that out. And I think I found what I'm supposed to be doing. So fortunately with what I do, even as managing director, is I'm able to continue to teach. So on Thursday nights, I have a high school class that's called Broadway or Bust. And it's the kids who come and they want to get their auditions ready for college. We have a lot of students that do that, and we do kind of a master class every week. We do a dance audition every week that emulates what they would have to do in a typical musical theater audition. You get 10 minutes, you learn the dance, and then you do it on the spot. And then sometimes they'll even go, okay, this week we're going to pick who we would have cast. Yeah. So we're trying to kind of give them the opportunity to see what it could really be like. And so I've used my performance career and my teaching career. And
so you're teaching introductory acting at the Strass Center right now yourself?
Actually, I'm teaching that Broadway or Bust. So that's more of an advanced musical theater class.
Okay, and so you also do a little dance in there too, correct?
Yeah. So I dabble with the directing and the acting as much as I possibly can on top of the administrative responsibilities.
I'm curious because I'm not in acting or anything. I mean, when you step into an acting class for the first time, what's the first things that you learn, or what are some of the I guess the nuances you got to break as an actor?
Right. Well, first of all, we kind of give them the compass, the north, south, east, west on stage. So they learn upstage, downstage, left and right for on-stage work. So we kind of have that technical side that we cover. But then it's getting them out of their heads so often. It's getting them from, they're used to taking a script and being able to read the lines. That's not acting. And so actually taking them beyond that and helping them understand that getting their body and their voice and taking on this character and telling the story beyond the roadmap of the script. I like to think of it as the script is the roadmap, but no vacation is just the roadmap. The vacation is all the things that happened from Orlando to Williamsburg. That's the vacation, not the actual lines on the map. And so helping them understand that and helping them break through physically of not being afraid to get out of themselves, not being afraid to take risks, that's kind of where we start, kind of with all ages, because that's the number one thing that we see in our students is that that's the roadblock, is
if
sometimes
they show up
getting
for
their
an
head
acting
around
class, can it be taught? I mean, because I don't know if I could be taught to act. I don't think I could ever step out of my persona.
I could.
Yeah.
I could definitely do that.
Yeah. But, I mean, do you think that everybody can be taught, to act then?
I think you can at least get the foundational skills for sure. And then you always have those people that walk in and you're like, holy cow, they just have it. They just have it. And that's kind of that magic sauce. I mean, I don't know, special sauce that nobody can really put their finger on as far as performers, probably performers you've even encountered, Bruce, that there's just something about them that you can't really put your finger on. And that I don't know it can be taught.
Yeah, they were just born to do it.
They either have it or they don't. But as far as the basics of being able to become an actor and the technique that's required, absolutely. I feel that way about musicians and dance as well. You can kind of get the foundation in there. And then from there, we have to decide. We have to decide if this is really the route we want to go. Can I make money doing this? Yeah. Or do people enjoy seeing me do this? Yeah.
So are you involved in any productions now, or are you strictly just behind the scenes in the teaching and then your role as managing director right now?
I'll actually be directing Into the Woods Junior, which is open for our 5th through 12th graders. And we'll be having auditions for that in February.
Oh, wow.
So I
Exciting.
love the show. I love working with high school and middle school students.
Wow. Well, for the time being, you've got the Nutcracker coming up on December 19th and 20th. Tickets are still available, correct?
Absolutely.
And they can
but going fast.
Yeah. And they can get those over at, what's the website for the Strat? Your site is patelconservatory.org. That's a link to the Strat Center's website, too. So they can
it'll get you there.
Yeah. Right. Suzanne Livesay, Managing Director for the Patel Conservatory. Great discussion. Thank you so much for coming in and what you're doing for the community.
Thank you so much.
And you can learn more about her, again, patelconservatory.org. And also thank you to Bruce Wozniak, founder and president of Now Hear This, who was on the first segment. Learn more about him over at nowhearthis.biz. Thanks for listening, everybody. You've been listening to That Business Show with Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.